Hey guys, I'm in Vlaardingen again. There's an ING bank, which is named after the ancestors of the North Sea Germanic tribes. His name was Inke or Ing. Well, that's a monument of the Second World War over there. Well, I'm not going to take the bus right now. I'm going to walk this piece. And I just want to show these two buildings here. You see, actually these three buildings. That's a morgue over there where they keep dead bodies. I am explaining the terms because my pronunciation of certain English words may be wrong, so that's why I explain what I mean, if I'm not certain I pronounce it right. So, this is a foster home, you see. I've always, a few years back, when I was around here, I was wondering, what is this building? And so I called over there, and it told me it was, a foster home. I don't know what that building is, but well, anyway, here you can see the X again, X again here in the zone. Well, here they also worship Alexander the Great, as you can see. Well, it's over there, and we're going to walk over here. Hold on. Good morning. So, let me continue. It's almost raining now. It's not yet raining, so I can still walk around here. Well, guys, I was thinking about something a few moments back, like an half an hour ago when I arrived here. And I was thinking like, okay, if you have an individual who holds on to a lie, and by placing his or her trust in stuff that she shouldn't place her trust in, or his trust, if this individual also wants to vindicate that illusion by searching for a group to protect their interests, aren't they just as guilty as those who, as those who commit crimes as murder, terrorism and everything? It's just a thought, because I've realized that, you have the evil organizations on earth, whether they are criminal organizations, whether they are governments, or whether they are gangs. They commit murder, violence, rape and everything, and also scam out people. However, those organizations, they don't stand on their own. So, to explain that, every organization on earth needs to have people or a crowd to support them in order for them to exist. Just think about what I'm saying here. No organization can exist without a crowd supporting it. Let's say you have a government. You have a group of, for example, 200 people that claim to be a government, but there's no population upon which they govern. There's no population that supports nor acknowledges their government, their authority. That's a crap, okay? Every human organization has a crowd that funds it and stands behind it. Even in poor countries where you have dictators, you have a large sum of the population, of the poor population, that supports the dictatorship, or else the dictatorship couldn't exist. I'm just talking reality here, people. So, if you have an individual, whether it's a male or female, I don't care about age. If you have someone who supports, an illusion, then automatically they're also supporting organizations that feed on those illusions. So if those organizations, harm other human beings, and cause damage on Earth, the ones that are holding on to illusions are just as responsible as the organizations that do it. You see, that's called collective responsibility. And every human being has collective responsibility. Every human being is responsible for what they're believing in, for what they're holding on to. Every human being is responsible for the consequences of their attitude on Earth. But many people don't want to hear this. Many human beings just want to blame others for their sins. They don't. You see, I will often recognize this when I interact with humans and with groups and the like, that most people want to talk about the times they were victimized. Okay, it happens that people get victimized, but very rarely will you find someone admitting that they have victimized others. And what I mean with victimize is, I'm not talking about unintentionally harming someone. See, a sin is a sin, whether it's an intense sin or that you intended to do harm, or it's, that you really were evil-minded and wanted to take out someone. It doesn't really matter. Sin is sin, okay? So nobody can call themselves a good person because sin is sin. There's a difference between the types of sins, but yes, still sin is sin and it brings misery. Okay? I'm talking about, having a negative attitude by holding on to an illusion, knowingly it's an illusion, don't want to hear the truth, and therefore vindicating your illusion on others who do speak the truth, or vindicating your illusion upon the victims that are suffering because of your illusion. Rarely will you find people admitting that they've cooperated with Satan on Earth to cause harm here. They always want to blame someone else. Yet when they are the victims, when they are the ones having to suffer, often because they themselves cooperated with the devil, yet then others have to be held accountable. Don't you see a double standard here, guys? My rights are very important, yet the rights of others, well, it depends. You see, this is the common attitude among sinners. And unfortunately, some believers all still have this worldly attitude. I want to point this out because, in this world there is no justice and there is no security. People can talk all day long about security, peace and everything. This world doesn't have any of those things. There's an appearance of peace, something that looks like peace, but it's not peace. Putting people in prisons after they violated collective, after they violated collective boundaries, that's not justice. First, you need to acknowledge if those collective boundaries are right or not. But often we don't do that. Not because often, in society, they just look for someone to blame. They don't want to do the difficult nor complicated work and efforts to find out what's going on. They just want to blame someone to move on with their sinning. Hold on, I'm at the train station here. I'm going to... Hold on. From the other side. I need to walk to the other side, as you can see. Hold on. Aan de andere kant?
Ja, achterop.
Here I go. Getting Guess I need to get over this. Alright. They're moving. You know, just think about that, guys. Most of the time, you know, when they arrest someone or when they take actions, it's only to blame someone so they can feel good, so that the community can feel good about themselves, so they can move on with sinning. Sorry. Right over here. Sorry. Ik kan het inchecken.
Ik ga het ook niet. Ik ga een keer inchecken.
Als het niet zet, dan doe ik het gewoon niet. Klaar. Well, I'm up, as you can see, and I'm continuing here. Well, I've walked past there, you see, all around here, to this side. Look. I've already explained society is something fictive. So I'm using the word community because human beings live in communities. In most communities, you know, the rituals people have for punishment are only there to get rid of the awareness of guilt from the population. You see? And, you know, in countries with capital punishment, with the death penalty, often they murder people who didn't even commit, who didn't commit murder. They just look for someone to blame, and they sacrifice one life just to let the society, or let me say the community, be happy. And by the way, capital punishment is evil, no matter what, because killing someone is killing someone. It doesn't matter under which circumstances. If you murder someone, you've murdered someone. And murder is not allowed on earth because it's God's planet and He doesn't tolerate it. Period. Evil is evil. It doesn't matter who does it. There's no justification for taking someone's physical life. Neither is there any justification for bearing hatred and anger towards someone. That equals murder. Yet people won't put capital punishment for that, because if we would install capital punishment for holding anger at someone, nobody would survive. You see, I'm making this video here because I'm just being real here. I'm not realistic. I'm not supporting any power claim. I'm not supporting any political ideology, nor any religion. I'm just being true here. On earth, in this present time, in this world system, there is no justice. All right? And to hold on to the illusion of justice in this world is basically supporting injustice. It's literally supporting Satan's kingdom on earth. That's what you're doing when you're holding on to, this illusion of, justice on earth. Look, I could talk a long time here before the camera. The train didn't arrive yet, but I'm keeping things short and simple here. The only justice that exists It's a justice that has been completed and finished at Calvary, when God himself, as human being, Jesus Christ, took the place of the whole human race, absorbed all our violence against him and against each other, and received all the full judgment that we should receive. And he paid and died eternally there at the cross as a human being instead of us. That was justice. The wrath of God was satisfied and sin was taken care of once and for all. That was justice for everybody. And that's the only justice that exists. Because only the judge of the earth, the Lord himself, can bring justice. And he brought justice for everyone once and for all. And everybody that lives now has to receive the justice that God has done to be justified. Because all are guilty and all are unworthy, by birth and by actions. Therefore only the justice that God brings can justify someone. And that's the thing. If someone does not receive the justification of the Lord, they will go out to search for justification somewhere else. And that's where scapegoating and blaming others comes from. Human beings cannot live with a negative state of being. They can't. See, that's why when the feeling of guilt arises, people try to get rid of it by either by drinking a lot, or by having, promiscuous sex, or by, smoking, or by taking out their violence on others. Human beings cannot live in a negative state of being. When someone's aware and convicted of sin, they always find a way to get rid of their responsibility, because we're not supposed to live outside of the grace of God. So every human being searches for justification. But there's only one justification that we can receive. That's the justification that Christ brought for us. Only by the blood of the Lamb is there redemption. Every other attempt is antichrist, is evil, and will lead straight to the lake of fire. So, that being said, I'm going to close this video now. And may the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ be with you all.